Streaming live every Saturday morning from Darin Bergsven Guitar Studio near Chester Creek in Duluth, Coffee and Guitar celebrates the guitar music and guitar players of the Minnesota Northwoods. There's a mighty forest of great guitar players that stretches from the headwaters of the Mississippi to the shore of Lake Superior. Each month, Coffee and Guitar welcomes a guest, a guitar giant of the Northwoods, to tell guitar stories, share guitar insights, and make guitar music. Good morning, happy Saturday, welcome to Coffee and Guitar, featuring Eric Carlson. Eric, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Making the trek.
Yeah.
We're going to get right into it. How do you take your coffee?
With a little bit of cream.
All right. The
Actually,
important questions. A lot of cream?
Yeah.
That would put you... I haven't actually tallied up the numbers, but it would put you in a...
Good company?
Not good great company. A minority.
Oh, really? What?
A minority of guitar players in the Northwoods.
Oh, I thought I'd be totally
At least, normal. I don't think it really speaks to normality.
That's true. I don't try to use that word very often.
There's cream for you there, if you want.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, a good crowd, indeed.
So what's the most common way to take coffee? And
seems black.
Okay. Maybe
is the thing.
They don't trust the cream. Thank you.
Two non-coffee drinkers. Cheers, everyone. Good morning, Cushman, Sarge, Amy. Welcome. Searching for tone. Glad you're all here. Eric and I haven't played together high school.
Yeah, we were probably 15 years old when we started playing together.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we played much since.
No, probably not.
I hired you for the Watermark Art Festival, which was fantastic. I really loved having you.
We need to talk about that again.
Yeah. Everybody should go to the Watermark Art Festival.
Go Bemidji.
Yeah.
You should play some tunes.
Yeah.
Get into it. Yeah. Eric brought all kinds of good stuff that I'm excited to play.
I was curious because I picked this Greg Brown tune. Has anyone ever played this one?
No. No.
Good.
I've never played this one.
Oh, sweet. Fits your theme really well.
It's perfect. There's a whole lot of fitting the theme in the set this morning. It's Greg Brown's Good Morning Coffee.
Yes. Good morning, coffee, will you smile? If not now, then have a sip or two, and maybe in a while. I love you in the good morning and in the night. Every day I wait with you. It's alright. myself a cup and then I will crawl in.
Perfect. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Eric Carlson, everybody. Mm-hmm. Eric, what's your guitar story? How did you get started with this instrument?
Yeah, I wanted to start with this one for a few different reasons, because guitar wasn't my first instrument. It was this interesting Irish drum, the Darin.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'll admit, I do think of you as a drummer.
Yes, yeah. At 15, that was like my thing, my only thing. And so I've kind of developed some of my style from the guitar from playing the drum. So with this song in particular, it's very percussive, and so I think of it kind of in those terms. So it's so that kind of rhythm just translates for me. When I first started playing guitar, my main influence is actually probably Brian Miller, who I was sitting next to him in choir class. And he just kind of said, "Do you want to join an Irish band?" And at 15, you're like, "Sure, I'll do whatever." And so he said, "Learn this drum." And I went and took lessons from a guy named Pat Ryan. And I only took lessons. By lessons, I mean like 2. And he was in a tragic train accident after that. And so I had written a song for him and kind of had to learn basically all I know about the drum after that, kind of on my own. But then later, I was always interested in playing guitar. But by the time I came to it, I kind of was listening to artists. Yeah, it's like doing this
stick in your head.
Exactly, right. And I was listening to artists like Martin Sexton, who I heard up in the Winnipeg Folk Festival, and I would watch his hand, and he was doing similar things, and he would do a lot of percussive things with his guitar. And so I developed kind of a pattern that I would do, and this is kind of like that pattern.
Yeah.
And so you can see how there's some translation there. Yeah.
It's complete translation. This is really interesting. It reminds me of an interview I watched with Victor Wooten, the bass player.
Yeah.
And he was talking about looking to other instruments to find new approaches to his own, but he wasn't talking about like transcribe a saxophone solo and play it on the bass. He was talking about how does that tenor player hit their instruments, and what if I played my bass that way? What sound would come out?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to kind of the Darin.
How does this right hand move, and what happens when I do it on my guitar?
Yeah, I think coming at instruments from a different angle can just open up possibilities. Whereas if you learn something from the get-go the way that everybody else learns it, sometimes you don't develop those things. But I remember talking to Brian about it, and it was funny because he'd watched. I was not obviously very good at guitar by the time I started, and he was. And he said, "It's so funny. Like you learn all the tricks first, and you don't really learn anything else." And at the time I was like, "Oh yeah, that kind of hurts." But it's kind of
also he's jealous of your tricks.
Yeah, right. That's got to be it. But it was also like everything with a really good friend like that. It's all like he's like constructive criticism. He's just like, it's cool, but now you got to go learn the guitar. Yeah. And I think it's been nice, and as I look back, it's been a benefit to kind of have come at the guitar at a really weird way, just because I can I've got a different kind of style.
Yeah, coming at it as a drummer. Speaking of coming at it as a drummer, we should play another tune, get into some Martin Sexton. Yeah. I'm reminded, I just grabbed this earlier.
No way.
Probably the coolest show I played, most memorable show in high school for sure, was the Holden basement. Yes. Dirt floor. Yes. Eric was the drummer in the band Cause Without a Rebel, and if I could describe your drum set, it was a standing drum set. Very cool. Yes. Sort of like a cocktail kit, but yours was a 50-gallon oil drum.
That's right.
And like an 18-inch square of sheet metal hanging from the floor joists above it.
That was essential, nailed into the floor.
Yeah. And
or the floor joist.
The floor joist, and like hanging from wire or something. It was suspended, if I recall.
Yep.
And you had a 3-pound hammer and a fist. Gah! And blood.
Yeah. I might have bled at that time. Yes.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I forgot you were there. I didn't.
Yeah. It was. We packed a 8-piece ska band into that basement after you guys.
That's right. You guys like came on right after us. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was so cool. Talk about coming at instruments in a different way.
Oh man, I was just overwhelmed with decibels and just couldn't. He's punching sheet metal right now with his fist. Pretty punk rock.
That was one of the coolest shows ever. And then at that age, it's just like that's about the coolest thing.
They came in the night and they stole my bike and they threw it in the river. Went to the police, said they didn't care, and they threw me in the river. And I found my bike.
Oh, that is bringing back so many great memories. Oh my gosh.
How about some Martin Sexton?
Yeah, that will go to something very touchy-feely here.
Uh-huh. Oh, and I should check in. There's some comments we got to check in. Next, too. Let's sing a tune. We'll check in a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, if anybody was there at that concert, I would love to know. Oh my gosh. That would have to be like...
I was hawking up basement dirt loogies for days.
Oh man. Alright, let me get my lyrics here. So I haven't done this one for a really long time, and then I realized... I tuned my guitar in Dadgad, at least one of them, and realized that this one works really well in Dadgad, and so I started playing it recently, but it definitely starts off with our theme of coffee here. Met up with an old friend last night, had a cup of coffee. Talked about all the things that had been going on. We talked about the old days and talked about the new days. Talked to just about anything but what was really going on. After 10 long minutes that slowly passed us by, tension in the air, I could have cut it with a knife. Staring out the window and gazing into the rain, suddenly calls my name, and he looks me in the eye, says I don't know where I'm going, I don't know where I've been. It's one long road that I've been traveling just to come up from Bemidji and see you again. No, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know where I've been. And it seems I found some big trouble and right now I'm sure he's a friend. Talked to me, he really talked to me now. He said I've been thinking about all of my drinking, about all of the good things that just let slip through my hands. At first it was a good job, and then it was the woman that I love. Then it was my car and all my material things. Then he said I lost myself in the madness, in the madness, in the madness. And now I don't know where I'm going, I don't know where my friend. Pride. We gotta hold on for the ride. No, we don't know where we're going, we don't know where we've been. We gotta hold on for this ride. Take it, my friend. Coffee, talked about all the things that had been going on. Thank you.
Yeah, in the journey, nice.
Yeah.
Eric Carlson, everybody.
Have a cup of coffee.
Yes, let's. And check in over here. I need to, I keep talking about this. I need a large display to see comments.
Oh, yeah, right. You have to kind of squint.
Or binoculars, maybe some opera glasses.
I think opera glasses is the way to go.
Classy.
Yeah.
So many folks. Sandy, welcome. Steve, hello. Time Surfing Alien, good morning. Dan. Rob, hello, Portland. Joy, good morning.
If Brett Cease is out there, hi to Brett Cease and Shonix and Quest. I just got to stay with them last night. It was a lot of fun.
Erica, good morning.
Yay,
Erica's watching.
Yay.
Wayne, good morning. Hello, Mom. Hello, everyone. Jose, thanks for being here. My son's hockey team Elliot plays Band of One hockey for East High School. They got to state. Last weekend. They had a great time. Did not come home state champions, but they went to state regional champions. So cheers to that.
Yes. Very cool.
Report was best season of hockey ever. 10 years of youth hockey. This one took the cake.
Wow. Is this the farthest they've got before, or have they won?
He's not been to state before.
Oh, wow. That's got to be why it's.
That was very exciting. Also, it's just a really phenomenal team. Really, really, I think they all had a really great time together.
Cool. Yeah.
Some strong connections. We'll see how trying out for the high school team goes next year.
Yeah. That's where it gets serious.
Next
Remember,
steps.
I was a good baseball player until high school. Then. It's a whole new league.
I got out early.
Yeah, did you play any sports? You played
Baseball growing up, second grade, I had a triple, 3 RBI.
Nice.
They interviewed me after the game. I was playing for Hardee's.
That's awesome.
Playing Little League for Hardee's. I got to talk to the reporter from the Bemidji Pioneer. I spelled my name for her, wrote it out, and then I was in the paper the next day as Darvin Borgnan.
Yes!
Darvin Borgnan hits a triple, 3 RBI.
Darvin Borgman?
Borgnan. Borgnan. Borgnan.
Can I call you that?
Darvin.
Darvin. That's amazing.
Darvin. They got the V from the Sven. I don't know. Anyway, I cut out the column and I brought it to school and nobody believed me. It's not you. It's not you, man. That's not.
That's such a great story.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember what team you were on? I was on Swenson's Truck Stop.
Hardee's.
Oh, yeah, it's Hardee's. Yeah, okay. I like the local businesses. That was kind of fun when they...
Yep. Good times. Yeah, that was my peak.
Yeah.
That's when my athleticism peaked right there. I tried middle school golf and the first practice was like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah. I think I'll start a band in my garage.
That's awesome. Yeah, I kind of like wasn't a competitive kid. So I was like, I liked running and doing things where I just could turn my brain off. And I loved music because it was like you could get better, but you could never be like the best at music. There was no like objective standard. We'd have battle of the bands and stuff, but it was like I loved how you could just get better and better, but nobody could win. I don't know, something cool about that.
Yeah, you can't win at music.
No, I don't think so. I mean, nowadays we try to make it that way, you know, like, and then there's like, you know, dissing people is a big thing, and I still don't really get why that's so important. I think it's more like making controversy just gets a lot of attention, and then you win by like having the most clicks and people are listening and paying attention to you. But music is like, for me, it's always been about trying to get as many people together, and we don't have a lot of enemies in the scene in Bemidji.
Yeah, you're very involved in the Bemidji music scene. What do you love about making music in the Northwoods? I
think for me it's just like low egos. It's kind of like, and there's tons of great people that are, they come out of the woodwork, and then it's beautiful to be able to play with just kind of people you didn't even know played music. You
play in a lot of groups. You play with the Oxbows, Occasionals,
I probably don't even remember.
The and Friends.
Oh, Known Only Locally.
Only Locally.
Which we'll be doing a Jim Miller tune today.
Yeah.
So it's all based on early music by Jim Miller and his group, and Christy Miller, and Miriam Tell, and Gary Broste. And one of my favorite bands of all time. It's like, that's another thing that's cool about playing in a small local area, is that you kind of have local heroes and they're accessible. So I get to play with Christy all the time. I get to play in this group that's still put things together after Jim died, and it's such a huge honor to play with him.
Yeah. And we've got some of his coming up.
Yeah.
Should we play some Solstice?
Yeah. Let's do
Eric
that.
Carlson original?
Yeah, let's do that. So this one is perfect for this trip because I got to stay. I wrote it for my friend Brett Cease. I tend to write music for people. I think of somebody and kind of channel my lyrics and concepts of the song towards somebody. That means a lot to me, and Brett is one of my best friends of all time. And he would have this tradition of on the solstice, winter solstice, going out and setting off those sky lanterns. And he was living in a yurt on my property for a couple years. We kind of helped him build it and everything, and he would just trudge off into the snow and live out in this yurt for a while. And so we set off a sky lantern there one year, and it went off, and we had written something like, it was a Happy New Year thing, and we changed it to Happy Brett, yeah. I think that's what we changed it to, and set it off, and it ended up in the neighbor's yard at some point. But it's very magical, and yeah, he was kind of like he was in a band with us for a while called Good Noise, and we like to say that he was kind of like the spirit animal of the group, because he was just like always positive and excited about everything.
You need that. You need someone to bring the vibe.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. He's definitely a vibe. I love him. But yeah, so this is called Solstice for him.
Spark that marks the end of winter's chill. Our hopes and dreams are like that candle, the sky lantern in the snow. But they will never fly, they can't grow. So we learn to release them and let go. We are smaller than we imagine. We are a universe unto ourselves. We are binary stars now. From a distance, all you see is a brighter first time, a pale blue dot 4 billion miles away. One little light out in the darkness, one little light up on the hill. Every winter on the solstice, no, I think I see it shining up there still. So fun to play with you.
Beautiful. Solstice. Eric Carlson, everybody. Likewise, Eric. This is great.
Oh my
this
gosh.
Is great.
When I got your invite, I was very excited.
Eric and I spent a lot of time through high school playing open mics together in the Northwoods Folk Collective.
Yeah.
We remember putting together benefit concerts to buy PA systems.
Yes, that was my favorite. I think that's my best memory of playing with you. That was a really cool show.
Do you remember the finale when we all played the Pogues at the end?
Yes.
South Australia, I was born, evil way, all the way. Oh.
We mixed the John Holden show with our show somehow.
Yeah.
You can imagine punk rock and then what we're doing here kind of mixed together.
Banging on acoustic guitars is great.
Yes.
Let's check in over here. They are still champions, Patrick. And they've got the hockey hair to prove it. Sandy loves that philosophy of inclusiveness. More people is better music.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, we should fight the power and stuff like that, but I think music is this one area in our lives where we can just kind of include as many people as we can in what we're doing.
Yeah, my teacher Soa grew up in Ghana, and one of the things he talking about intonation, tuning. The group is more in tune, the more voices we have.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to the concept of tuning, but just this idea that we're more in tune if we have more singers.
Yeah. So I still do an open mic night in Bemidji.
Yeah, just this Thursday.
Yeah. And yeah, that's true. And I started off doing open mic nights. It was really fun for me because I could do a short little set and then just like support other musicians. And part of my thing is like when I started playing music at those open mic nights or the coffee house collective things, that Dan Haug would sit there and run sound for absolutely everybody and people who are just learning on stage and stuff like that. And I so valued someone just sitting there and being patient while we kind of figured out our stuff. And I think
phenomenal stage lights and pro sound.
Yeah. And I think our class of 98 just benefited so much from all of the people who supported us. And so that's been a piece of what I want to do all the time. It's not so much about my own stuff. I like doing that, but the pressure to even make a living off of it or do a 4-hour show is just a lot. And it's just like some people are built for that. I like being able to do a small bit of what I do and then help support other people the rest of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's evident. I was inviting new people to join your bands. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Because I think this in-tune philosophy, I like it. We also have to admit that the more people you add, the more chances for being out of tune you can be. But I'm going to take your metaphor and say, like, the more we allow more voices to sing, so like an open mic scenario, I think there's just more chances for beauty and like diversity. And so like I've been through a few open mics where some parts were a little hard to sit through. Mostly the comedians that get up and is like,
yeah,
well, keep working on it, buddy. But it's still just beautiful to see anybody get up there and fight through their nerves and share their art with everybody.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Exciting for everyone.
Yes.
Hey, let's keep rolling.
Yeah.
On our 1952 Vincent Black Lightning.
Yeah, let's do that. I was gonna save it.
We can do something else if we want to hold off on that one.
Maybe let's save it for. Yeah, I really like this. Let's save it because it might require my voice to be fully warmed up. Mm-hmm. So
Gotcha.
Let's do Cheyenne since we were talking about the Known Only Locally group. There's a great album called I Have to Wander. And if you get a chance, a friend of mine, Scott Jorgensen, was just like fixing up a house. He's a painter in Bemidji. And he found a like pristine record with Known Only Locally just sitting in the old abandoned house. And it's like gold around Bemidji.
Yeah.
It's cool. But this group, Jim Miller in particular, just wrote prolifically and wrote so many songs. And I've been just going through his catalog. When he died, Christy Miller handed me a little thumb drive, and she said, "Here's Jim's life's work." And she had recorded like, yeah, don't sneeze. But so I've been able to go through all of his discography, and before it's not really out there. You can't find it anywhere. It's like on old tapes and stuff. So I've been trying to keep it alive. And this is a
Good on
tune.
you.
Yeah. This is a tune called Cheyenne. And Miriam Tell does a really cool version of this. She kind of slows it down. And I always just like, it's funny because it's kind of about the rambling times in the 60s and meeting up with friends. And in the middle of the whole song, he just says, "I'll buy you a cup of coffee." And it just kind of like, I don't know why that line stands out a lot, but that's why I had to do it today.
Colorado in the fall, and beautiful you stood so tall, and didn't have a trip together at all. So when you called, I felt ashamed. You're looking like a magazine, Okie smoked the barroom scene. Yeah, the go-between we couldn't find, and my mind, it was gone. I might be coming home through Cheyenne. I'll stop and see you if I can, if I could. Smile, smile, I heard you speak. You said you'd be there just a while a week. No time to sit, no time to rest. I said, you know I'm not alone. You know I wanna take you home. I said, eggs for breakfast, but we can bring it back to the bone. I'll just buy you a cup of coffee. I might be coming home through Cheyenne. I'll stop and see
Songwriter.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric, for bringing that.
Absolutely.
What a fun tune.
Keep putting this guitar down, but I think I'm going to keep it.
Can I warm up your cup there?
Yeah. So another influence for me was our house concerts. I don't know, were you aware of like the house concerts that my family would put on? Maybe not.
Maybe not so much.
But we've filmed them for years. And I think my friends were connected with like Gary Berger. Mm-hmm. We should talk about Gary Berger a little bit.
Talk about Gary Berger.
Yeah.
Who are your guitar giants of the Northwoods?
Yeah, exactly. With the Monks. So he was another one that kind of bridged this punk folk gap. But he's kind of known as, in a lot of circles, as like the godfather of punk. The Monks that played in Germany in the 60s. And so he was our neighbor. Mm-hmm. He's the mayor of Turtle River when I was growing up.
That's true.
And my parents went and found the album. He was kind of hiding the fact that he was in the Monks for a long time. He was hiding in the North Woods. And my parents found out about it.
As many of us do.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we might all be hiding.
We're just hiding him.
But my parents found this old like bootlegged album. And it was called Black Monk Time, and it's all in German, and brought it home. And anyway, Gary had told my folks, like, just ask people, anybody. Like, he was kind of connected. In fact, Jack White, he knew Jack White, and Jack White kind of like brought the Monks to America after they had been kind of not known. He like brought them back and like published their album here and everything. But he was
unaware of that. That's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, really cool. In fact, Gary just kind of went and surprised him at his studio one time, and he saw like the Monks were like on posters, and the album was pressed on the wall and everything. So it was a big deal. Mm-hmm. But Gary would just say, ask musicians to come play. Like if they're traveling through, it's worth it to them to just play at somebody's house for not a ton of money. Mm-hmm. And so all during my childhood, we had great musicians, Spider John Kerner and the brothers Landreth recently, who, as they were leaving, they won a Juno. Bonnie Raitt starts playing their music and everything. So there's been just a ton of great musicians in my life that just kind of came and played in our living room. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's kind of another influence for me.
It's a nice incubator.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to have our folks that are connected. Mm-hmm. And have good taste.
I love playing with great musicians in my living room.
Yeah, good segue.
We got a few more here. What are you ready for? Heart and Home, or
that's
the Black
How much
Lightning?
Time are we going to be able to squeeze everything in?
Oh, we're gonna do it all, Eric.
Good. So let's get Heart and Home, because that is what I was just talking about.
Hiding in the woods.
Hiding in the woods, and my dad built our house when I was a little kid.
I feel like I recognize this song. Were you playing this? When did you write this?
On our second album with the Gaels. So
right.
Brian and I
do recognize this song.
Yeah. It's different. I slowed it down, but the guitar part was written by Brian before I could play guitar.
I should have. I've got the cassette in the drawer right over there. I should have been studying Brian's part. Well, Brian, I made up some baloney. Here you go.
All right, so this one's called Heart and Home, and it's, like I said, I always write a song kind of with someone in mind, and this one was definitely my folks, especially my dad, his vision in building our house. It's a big log house up in Turtle River.
Dave came out among the woods, yeah, out among the trees, where the crickets go and the sea sows, the rain falls and his garden grows. The wind is strong and the wind is fair as it blows through his beard and through his hair. You see, Dave came from the woods, and to the woods he shall return. In his heart, in his home, a fire burns in a warm wood stove, and it'll rain and sleet and snow, but still that fire it'll glow. For his love from which I came, he built a house and he plowed a lane, he laid the logs and set the stone. It soon became our strong wooden home, where the crickets go and the seeds he sows, the rain it falls and his garden grows. The wind is strong and the wind is fair as it blows through his beard and through his hair. You see, they came from the woods, and to the woods he shall return. In his heart, in his home, a fire burns in a warm wood stove, and it will rain and sleet and snow, but still that fire it'll glow. Yes, it will rain and sleet and snow, but still that fire it'll glow.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. This is so fun.
It's great.
Yeah, yeah.
man. Yeah, that brought me right back. I feel like I'm at the Folk Collective.
Exactly,
It's
right?
wonderful, man. Wonderful.
Thanks to Dan Haug and everybody who put those things
It
on.
was so good. Once a month, Friday, first Friday of every month, and all for like, I don't remember when I started middle school. Early. Every month, just okay. I need a new original and a new cover.
Yeah.
And I got 3 songs, so I'll repeat one, and it just and it was totally about Dan.
Yeah.
Making that happen.
Yeah.
And I came out of high school with a catalog. It was amazing.
Yeah. It's the best way to learn, really. Playing in front of people and having the pressure to do that.
And that deadline, man, I remember cramming like the first week of the month leading up to coffee at school, everything, just
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
I got to get my new cover together.
I remember even back then just being really impressed with your work. And then I think we were on a camping trip somewhere. And I don't know if you remember this, but we just happened to be camping next to you and your folks. And you had come over and you just started playing a bunch of Beatles tunes. And it was like, these things are simple. It's like, and I remember really looking up to your guitar playing even back then. And then once you graduated, it's just like, you became who you are now. And it's just very impressive.
Well, thank you. That was, man, we had you're right, the Folk Collective, Gary, Berger,
Yeah.
Lou.
Samsa.
There was just a huge circle
Yeah.
of us in our I think 98 specifically.
Yeah.
But just
Yeah.
a lot of musicians.
Shout out to Lance Benson out there, who was on your show.
Mm-hmm. Tanya Woodland.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yes.
Yeah, that was the best times. Sam, good morning. Thank you all. I should check in here. I hope you're enjoying us listening to Eric and I catch up. Erica's singing along 3-part harmony at home. Rob, I agree. It is a great collaboration.
Yes, I've been missing Erica's harmony. She sings a lot of these with me.
I bet.
Yeah.
We got a couple more.
Yeah. Let's do one more cup of coffee. Has to be that last one. So let's do.
I'd like to close with it.
Yeah. And somebody else has done that one, right? You said?
Mm-hmm. I mean, lots of people have done lots of things.
I like that about some, like Bob Dylan's stuff is kind of meant for that, like to hear it in a whole bunch of different contexts, see how different artists interpret it. Got that kind of Picasso effect, or like this song means something different to everybody, different perspectives. But we'll do Vincent Black Lightning first, Richard Thompson tune. See if my voice can do it.
In F. All right, in F.
Said red money to James, that's a fine motorbike. Ain't girl could feel special on any such line. Said James to red Molly, well my hat's off to you. That's a Vincent Black Lightning 1952. I've seen you on the corners and the cafes, it seems. Red hair and black leather, my favorite color scheme. And he pulled her on behind, down the box here. They did right. Said James to red Molly, here's a ring for your right hand. But I'll tell you in earnest, I'm a dangerous man. For I've fought with the law since I was 17. I robbed many men to get my Vincent machine. Now I'm 21 years, I might make 22, and I don't mind dying, but for the love of you. But if fate should break my stride, Lord, I'll give you my Vincent to right. come down. Red Molly, Brad Sergeant McRae, but they've taken young James 80 in for armed robbery. Shotgun blast hit his chest, left nothing inside. Come down, oh come down to his dying bedside. When she got to the hospital, there wasn't much left. He was running out of road, he was running out of breath. But he smiled to see her cry. Said, I'll give you my Vincent to write. Said James, in my opinion, there ain't nothing in this world that beats a 52 Vincent in a red-headed girl. Now Greases and Nortons and Indians won't do. No, they don't have a soul like a Vincent 52. And he reached for her hands and he gave her the keys. He said, I have no further use for these. I see angels and Ariels in leathers and chrome, swooping down from heaven to carry me home. And he gave her one last kiss and died. And he gave her his Vincent to write.
All right.
Thank you.
1952, Vincent Black Lightning.
Yeah, classic tune.
Well,
Do we have
Eric,
time?
it's a pretty forgiving venue.
I
You can go
suppose
over.
they don't have to cut to commercial.
The boss is all right.
This is
There's no commercial break. Well, I don't know. Maybe in reruns, YouTube shows commercials. I don't think they're interrupting us for commercials right now. Oh, there's I would be remiss if I didn't mention Coffee and Guitar with Darin Bergsven is a fiscal year 2024 recipient of a Creative Individuals Grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board. This activity is made possible by the voters of Minnesota through a grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board thanks to a legislative appropriation from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Thank you to the voters of Minnesota. Thank you supporting members, bringing guests like Eric on the show each month. We got Charity Hewitt Benedict coming up next month, and in May, Mississippi Mike Wolf. June, Marshall Dillon. It's going to get funky, I think. Some funky telly. Oh, it's
cool.
going to be good. Ted Anderson of Father Hennepin in July, and Jermaine. coming on in August. It's going to be solid. It's shaping up to be a solid 2025. Thank you all for your support. Should check in one more time. Sergeant Amy, Jose, thank you for all of your encouragement. Brett Cease.
Yay!
Thank you, Brett. It's fun. This studio. It started with hanging up the guitars, and then just one thing after another. I love my studio.
We were just saying during COVID, we got better at guitar. A lot of people did. Mm-hmm. Just hanging up a guitar was like key for me.
Oh yeah. I can't get from the bed to the refrigerator without passing my guitars.
Yeah.
It's changed everything.
Just reminds you, you should be practicing.
I find myself sitting here constantly. What was I? I was doing something.
I know, right?
But I just get
this is
sucked in.
For those of you who don't play, these are little time warps. Like you just take them and then you pop out like
this is the Yamaha I bought at the Melody Shop in 3rd grade.
No way. Melody Shop, that's awesome. Do you still play it?
Oh well, yeah.
What about
yeah. It's the only flat top I have, actually. Well, no, I have that one that I bought. That's my Boundary Waters guitar. I bought it so, just to have a guitar that it would be okay if it fell in a lake.
And has it ever fallen in a lake?
Not yet.
That's awesome.
It survived 15 years in a high school classroom. And
wow.
has been winter camping and boundary watersing and lots of stuff. That red guy, I bought at Overbeeks when I left Bemidji for...
These are some Bemidji relics here. Both of those are out of business now.
Mark Arndt of Greenwood Golf Course sold this Strat to my dad when I was joining the middle school jazz band and I needed an electric guitar.
Oh my god!
Dad was like, "Oh, my kid needs a guitar." After league golf one day, and Mark was like, Mark had 2 of these sitting in his closet.
No way.
So I got one of them.
Yay! I love that. What guitar do you play the most? Do you think?
This one.
Yeah, it's got a great tone to it. Yeah.
Yeah, Ed Schaefer lived in town for a while. He's in Austin, Texas now. I've got 2 of his instruments. They are phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
Well, we should trade after.
Yeah,
Check it out. We have one more tune for the good people.
Yeah. I didn't want to throw this at you, but is it possible to do it in C minor if we...
Yeah, we can do whatever you... Yep.
I think my voice is warmed up enough.
Curveball.
I know.
Yeah, I can do this in a key I've never played it before. Let me think for a second.
Yeah. I do have the, let's see here. Should be A sharp.
I got it.
G sharp. G. So I did this at open mic. We finished it off. Actually, I was kind of practicing for this show. But Lance Hedden, I got to give a shout out to him. There's so many beautiful musicians. I feel like when you play music with somebody, you just get to know a whole side of them in a different way, and just the way they express themselves and the bond you can kind of form with people through music. Lance is one of those guys. He shows up. He's got all sorts of wind instruments and plays the flute and all sorts of saxophones. And he finished the open mic at Bridget's Pub. Thanks to Bridget's Pub for hosting open mic and supporting local musicians who are learning on stage still. Mm-hmm. So this one goes out to you, Lance.
Your breath is sweet, your eyes are like 2 jewels in the sky. Back is straight, your hair is smooth, I blow where you lie. But I don't sense affection, heart to me, but to the stars above. One more cup of coffee for the road. One more cup of coffee before I go to the valley below. How to pick and choose and how to throw the blade. He oversees his kingdom, so no stranger does intrude. His voice it trembles as he calls up another plate of food. One more cup of coffee for the road. One more cup of coffee before I go to the valley below. Like your mother and yourself, you never learn to read or write. There's no books upon your shelf. Your pleasure knows no limits. Your voice is like a metal light. Your heart is like an ocean, mysterious and dark. One more cup of coffee for the road. One more cup of coffee before I go to the valley below.
Love to you all.